A sign that no matter how you attempt to conceal your sins, the truth will eventually float up to the surface. Having realized this, Father chose death. He was such a kind-hearted man. I didn't have an inkling of what he had been going through. To him, the participation of Labyrinthia's people within this project was not voluntary. I feel the same way! Even though they had themselves signed the contract, I believe he felt those people were being deceived. Yep, thank you, Layton. You just said exactly my problem. Father took his life because of you, Cantabella. Welp. Now you know why I did what I did. I lost my father 3 months ago. That day, my revenge began. Your revenge? The first step of my plan was to rewrite the story. What did you say? As president of Labyrinth Incorporated, you had to spend most of your time in London. Over the past few years, you were coming to Labyrinthia only for the parades. So naturally, I knew you would never notice if the story was slightly changed. That explains it. I couldn't help thinking there was something strange going on. Mr. Cantabella is Espella's father, after all. He wouldn't have made Espella a witch in his story. Espella was... a witch? When did that happen? How could you have known? After all, let me fill you in on the details. Espella has already been tried once within the witch's court. Impossible. Why? How could you... You knew the risk that would carry! Look at you. What a fine author of that grand story you are. You left all the work in Labyrinthia to me. Meanwhile, you were making millions for yourself in London. What a pathetic excuse for a father. You didn't even notice that your precious little Espella was in such danger. Miss Belduc. Why did you do that to Espella? Do you even need to ask? I did it to unlock her memories. You mean... When the legendary fire took place, Espella was so traumatized that she closed herself off to the world. We were just little girls then. That tragic accident was too much for us to handle. This fictitious town was created as a facade to keep the truth away from Espella. But the weight of all these lies led my father to a suicide. Despite that, the person responsible for all this carried on as if nothing had happened. I couldn't forgive him. As Belduc's bereaved daughter, I had to have my revenge against both Cantabellas. Judge, this is the whole truth. Now you know the true identity of Vizela.
Objection.
Ooh? Are you okay there, Dad? You say this is the whole truth, but is that really the case? Professor, what are you going on about now? We have been provided with a clear picture of what happened to Espella so long ago. Nevertheless, we haven't yet heard your testimony. Don't be ridiculous. This will be the last testimony in this trial. Tell us about the night of the legendary fire. I request that you tell us your story. Who do you think you are, Inquisitor? I am merely one of the supporting characters within this tale. I almost thought this was a fourth wall. However, I am very much interested in the truth. This has been a very long trial, of which this shall be the last interrogation. Yeah, considering this went like 2 chapters. The court demands that the single other witness of the legendary fire provide us with her testimony. Very well. There is only one truth. Nothing can change that. We'll see about that. The truth about the legendary fire. Espella wanted to ring the bell no matter what, so we went up to the belfry. The festival celebrations had already started. The mechanism for ringing the bell was at the height even we could reach. The next thing I remember is coming to and running to Espella's side. Okay, that was really run-on-sense. Sorry. I was shaking her until she finally opened her eyes. The next moment, we saw that nightmarish view. All strength abandoned us, and we didn't know what to do. That was when we were found by my father and Mr. Cantabella. The bell could only be rung with a special mechanism. That's right. It was made in such a way that even a child could use it. Why? It was probably constructed by my father. I suppose he wanted to make it possible for anyone to ring that bell. In light of the events that followed, that was clearly a very foolish decision. A mechanism for ringing the bell. I noticed something like that on the pillar when we went to the belfry earlier. I better make a note of it in the court record. Oh dear, fate can certainly be cruel. I have to agree. If only we had not discovered those ruins and brought the bell to our town. Or if only we could have deciphered those ancient writings a little earlier. Moreover, if only the groundwater in this area didn't cause that strange condition. Unfortunately, Mr. Cantabella, the tragedy occurred. Deal with it! All that remains for us to do is to seek out the truth. Not for the sake of vengeance, but for the sake of the future. Mr. Wright. Yes? You have been fighting fiercely to uncover the truth. This is the final interrogation. I trust you know what to do. Leave it to me. To be honest, I have no idea what lies ahead. But whatever it is, there's no question we need to get to the bottom of it. There's gotta be the light at the end of this tunnel. There will be. I'm actually a little concerned that the further I go, I'm gonna get to a point where I can't save, so. But anyway. Okay, we're going to press about all her strength abandoning them. There we go.
Hold it!
You didn't have the belfry. You didn't leave the belfry until their arrival? Of course not. We were paralyzed with fear. It was an event so traumatizing it still haunts us. Espella fainted again when she saw the fire dragon. I was crying and waiting until our fathers found us. We went to the bell tower as it was a good vantage point. We weren't expecting to find our daughters there. What the heck did I say? Of course, neither suspected at that point that the disaster had been caused by the Bell of Ruin. Eve was in tears, sobbing violently. As for Espella, she was in a daze. Her face froze in an expression of disbelief. She didn't know what was happening around her. I cannot say this with certainty, as my memories are a little vague. But I think I was trying to protect her. That was slow text. Question.
Hang on!
Mr. Cantabella? I remember that very well, as if it happened yesterday. Cantabella? Would you mind telling us what you saw?
Eve! Espella! Are you alright?
Daddy!
Eve! What on earth happened here?
It was Bazella! Bazella the witch!
But... Bazella? What are you talking about?
Bazella comes out whenever someone rings the bell, right?
What have you done? You didn't...
Oh, please, Mr. Cantabella, don't be angry at Espella.
Eve said it with the most serious look on her face. Please, Mr. Cantabella, don't be angry at her! When she said that, I grasped the situation. I realized what had transpired in the belfry, and I thought to myself, I must protect these children. Eve. I'm so sorry, Eve. Espella. Espella, sweetie. Dad, please forgive me. You've done all this for me. Espella, you're with us again. All this for me. Well, well. At last, it would appear we are one step away from the truth. Professor, you seem to already know what the truth is. Of course he does. He's always one step ahead. Do I? That remains to be seen. Continue the interrogation, and we shall all know soon enough. Okay. Very well. The court agrees with Inquisitor Layton. Witness, continue your testimony. As you wish. You look a little shaken there, Darklaw. Okay, I was shaking her. We're gonna find that testimony because we need to press on that. There we go.
Hold it!
Press! So it was you who woke Espella up, witness? Yes, it was me. She was out cold, curled up on the floor until I shook her awake. As soon as she came to, she turned to look at the town, to that nightmarish view stretching out before us. Huh?
Hang on!
Excuse me, Espella? Espella, are you okay? Yes. Everything's fine. My apologies for bringing back such troubling memories. Nevertheless, you must endeavor to face them and overcome the power they hold over you. Yes, I remember it now. The fire dragon. I summoned it because I'm Vizela. No, Espella! It was just an illusion. No, you're wrong, Dad. It wasn't an illusion. It was a fact. If I hadn't rung the bell, none of this would have happened. Vizela is the bringer of disaster, and that's what I've done to our town. No! The accused's running away! Quick, after her! She's run into the bell tower! Darn it, she's locked herself in! It's no use, we'll have to break down the door to get in. Oh, that girl, she's gone and disabouted herself. Stay away from me! Espella, please! It's Espella! Espella, be careful! It's dangerous up there! Please, Espella, come down! I'm sorry, everyone. I have no right to be here anymore. Nick! Espella's going to do something crazy! I can see that. Well, what the heck can I do? Espella, please do not make any hasty decisions. Mr. Layton. The truth is close now. Be brave for a little while longer. The truth? As if it wasn't clear already. Wow, my screen went dark. If I hadn't rung that bell, everything would have been fine.
Objection!
Espella, please. You may be mistaken. You still don't know the whole story. Huh? Isn't that so, Mr. Wright? I had the same feeling when I was listening to Eve's testimony. I felt something was not right. We're gonna find out what that thing that's not right about her testimony in the next video. I have a feeling maybe we'll finish it in the next video, either that or the video afterwards. But we shall see. So I'll see you guys then!